Hey guys, Jack here today bringing you my updated gaming setup video. A load of you guys request this and I haven't updated this since June 2012, so that's over 2 years ago now, and obviously a lot of stuff has changed since then. I've got new hardware, new peripherals, so without further ado, let's get into it. So this is where I spend most of my day, editing, gaming, browsing, sending emails, all that good stuff. This is where all that happens. So first things first, the chair. This is a GT Omega racing chair. Looks pretty cool, pretty comfortable, but let's face it, it's not going to make you any better at games. Next, the PC, the bread and butter of the system. Let's see what we've got going on down here. Starting off with the case, we're looking at a Corsair 750D, and this does normally actually have a window on the side, but I've taken it off so you can see the components inside, otherwise you just get a big reflection. But this is a great case, very big, very roomy, plenty of space in there for hard drives, big graphics cards, water coolers if you want. Fantastic case. The motherboard powering the system is an ASUS Rampage 5 X99 Extreme motherboard. All the bells and whistles you could ever need, plenty of SATA ports, overclocking is great on it, works fantastic. The CPU I've got in here is the Intel 5960X Extreme processor. It's an i7 and currently I've got it overclocked to 4 GHz. Now this is a very expensive processor, but for me it just makes perfect sense because I do a load of gaming, I do a load of rendering, there's a load of threads on there. It's pretty much the latest Intel architecture. It means that I can stream and play games in 1080p at like a 6000 bit rate at the same time. I can record with no problems. It's great for rendering, Photoshop work, Adobe After Effects work, anything like that. Great processor. The memory I've got in here is 16 gigabytes of Corsair Dominator DDR4, and I think it's rated at 2800. And again, 16 gig, great for After Effects, rendering, plenty enough for gaming, works good for me. The graphics card in this system is an Nvidia Geforce GTX 980, absolute beast of a graphics card. I can play pretty much any game at ultra settings, above 60 FPS, at 1440p. It just chews anything I throw at it up. Also, you've got the bonus of shadow play as well. Shadow play is fantastic. It means that I can record games up to 4K now at 60 FPS at 130 bitrate, which is pretty insane. The quality is amazing, the FPS is great, and shadow play has just saved me so much trouble with recording games. GTX 980, awesome graphics card, just does everything that I want it to, and I just don't have to worry about settings. This little thing down here is an AVerMedia Live Gamer HD capture card, and I only ever use this when I'm recording console gameplay. It's just got HDMI in, HDMI out, and if I want to record PS4 or Xbox One, that's what I use. The hard drive situation here, we've got 6 hard drives in total. 3 of them are SSDs and 3 of them are traditional mechanical hard drives. The SSDs, they're all Samsung EVOs. The 500 gig one is for the C drive and my games and apps that I use all the time. And then I've got 2 1 terabyte SSDs which I use for high frame rate recording. So say I want to record something at 120 FPS, I can use a program like DxTory to use both of the hard drives and just get an insane FPS. So if I want to do like ultra slow motion stuff, that's possible. The 3 big storage hard drives, I've got one 4 terabyte Western Digital black hard drive, and I use that mainly for storage like songs and movies. If I've got any big files that I need to save, that all goes on there. And then I've got 2 other hard drives, 2 terabyte Seagate Barracuda drives. And again, I use those for recording at like 30 FPS. So say I need to do a big recording of DayZ, for example, like a 5-hour setting, I'll use those hard drives to record that. The power supply in the system is a Corsair 1200i modular power supply. Modular means that you only really need to use the cables that you need to use. So that means you get a more efficient and a tidier case. The cable management in this case, I haven't actually finished it because I only recently built the system and I just haven't got around to doing it. So there's a few loose cables here and there. As you can see, I will tidy those up eventually, I promise. But yeah, power supply, Corsair 1200i, gives me plenty of juice for the processor and the graphics card. And if I wanted to go to like an SLI setup with another GTX 980, for example, 1200 watts is more than enough power for that. I got a DVD drive in there, probably never going to use that apart from installing Windows. And finally, we've got the cooler, which is a Corsair H100i water cooling unit, and it's got the radiator at the top there, 120mm fan on the back, 220mm at the front, so the airflow and the cooling in this case is pretty damn good. And like I said, I've got the 5960X overclocked to 4 GHz. It's nice and stable, nice and cool, and the system runs absolutely great. So that's it for the system. Let's move on to peripherals. So my gaming mouse is the Razer Deathadder 2013 Optical 4G edition. I have that set to 400 DPI and 1000 Hz in Windows. My Windows sensitivity is 6 out of 11. And this is just a really nice basic gaming mouse. I used a mouse when I played CS competitively for like 12 years called the Microsoft IntelliMouse 3.0. And it was just a beast, absolutely beautiful mouse, but unfortunately it went end of line and they don't sell it anymore. And I looked around trying to find something that could replace it, and the Deathadder pretty much has exactly the same shape as the 3.0 did. It's got the mouse 4 and mouse 5 buttons on the side, the middle click, the scroll wheel. It is a tiny bit bigger than most gaming mice, so if you've got small hands, I wouldn't recommend it, but if you've got medium to large shaped hands, then it's an absolutely fantastic mouse, no prediction on there or anything, and it just works flawlessly for me. I've never had a problem with it, and very, very good tracking. The Mousemat, I thought why not show you this as well. This is a Steelseries QCK heavy. It's a very large Mousemat, and that's great for me because I use very low sensitivities in first person shooters, so it just gives me plenty of room to move my hand around. It's cloth Mousemat, and I can't stand hard surface mouse mats. I never use them. I always use cloth mouse mats, and the SteelSeries QCK Heavy is perfect for me, and I've just got no reason to change or upgrade to anything else. The headset I use is the Sennheiser 363D. Now it is on the more expensive side, but the way I look at it is I use my headset for everything I do on the PC every single day for hours. Like, I use this thing so much for music, editing, gaming, all sorts, Skype, whatever. The microphone quality is great, the audio quality is great, noise cancelling as well, so if I go to a LAN I can't hear a load of rowdy people behind me, I can actually just hear the game. There's a volume control on the side as well, and it just works great. Nice headset. I've got a little muff on the microphone as well, which I bought separately, that just helps with the puffs and the breathing sounds when I'm recording stuff. And yeah, just works great. Awesome headset. The keyboard I'm using at the moment is the ASUS Strix Gaming Mechanical Keyboard. Great keyboard, very responsive keys, not too noisy as well, which is okay for recording. It's got some macro keys on the end there, so if you play like MOBAs or World of Warcraft or something, you can maybe assign those to something in game. A couple of light functions on there too. Generally speaking, good keyboard, very responsive. It looks quite nice as well. Sleek, sexy, I like the orange lighting, cool keyboard. Now before we move on to the monitors, I wanted to show you this as well. This is an Astro mix amp, and the reason I use this is because it lets me split my audio. So as you can see, I've got it plugged in via USB to the front of the case, and I've also got an optical cable going from the mix amp to my onboard motherboard optical audio. So this gives me 2 audio streams that I can split and record with DxTory. So this means that I don't need to use a program like Virtual Audio Cable, for example. So the optical audio is my game audio, and the USB audio is my TeamSpeak audio. So if I use DxTory, I've got my microphone, USB audio, optical audio, all on 3 different channels. That means that when I drag it into something like Sony Vegas, I've got 3 separate tracks which I can edit individually. So if I've got a game clip and I've got someone screaming, it doesn't matter, I can just completely remove that screaming and just use the game audio, which just gives me way more freedom for editing. So all of my audio split is now done via hardware rather than software. Less hassle to set up, it's just always ready as soon as I turn my PC on. And the little USB dongle you see there is actually the audio sound card that comes with the Sennheiser 363D headset. And I don't actually use that for my sound. Like I said, I use the optical audio, but I do use it for the microphone on the headset, because for some reason this microphone, when you plug it into the onboard microphone jack, the quality is pretty bad. But if you use the USB sound card that comes with it, the quality is just amazing. Right, next, some really cool stuff here. Moving on to the monitors. The first monitor I use, my primary monitor for gaming, is the ASUS ROG Swift PG278Q 144Hz G-Sync monitor. That is a bit of a mouthful to say, but there you go. And this is probably the best gaming monitor I've ever used, hands down. It's 27 inches, so you get loads of screen space, 1440p resolution, which just looks amazing. You know, if you've got a graphics card that can support that resolution, it looks incredible. And the best thing about this monitor is the fact that it's a G-Sync monitor. What does this mean? Well, I'm going to try and explain this in layman's terms as simple as possible. Conventional monitors, 60Hz monitors, come with three major problems. Input lag if you use VSync, stutter if you use VSync, and if you don't use VSync, you have screen tearing, which looks pretty horrible. And G-Sync essentially completely eliminates all those problems. So those three things that have always been around in PC gaming, with a G-Sync monitor, they're gone. And G-Sync does this by dynamically changing the refresh rate of your monitor to exactly match your frames per second. It looks amazing, like it's very smooth. It's really hard for me now to go back to a non-G-Sync monitor as my primary gaming monitor because it just looks so good. Like, obviously you're not going to be able to see on the screen how it looks in person because I'm recording this at 30 FPS and it's going up on YouTube at 30 FPS. So really this is something that you have to see for yourself so you can get it. I guess it's sort of like the 3DS in that way. But if you're at a game show or a convention or something and you see that one of the stands has a G-Sync monitor, go and check it out, and I think you'll be quite impressed because it just looks so good. Like in motion, it looks amazing. Okay, secondary monitor. This is the ASUS PB287, and this is actually a 4K monitor, 4K resolution. It's not a G-Sync monitor though, it's only at 60Hz, but I use this as a secondary monitor and I love it because it's just got so much space on there. Like I can have a window for Sony Vegas where I'm editing, I can have Twitter or something in the top left, I can have a video playing in the bottom left or a tutorial or something, and it's all on one big 28-inch screen. Or say for example I'm streaming and I want to see the chat nice and big, I can just whack that on the side and have OBS there as well on the same screen, have my T-Notifier stuff up in separate windows. I love having a big resolution secondary monitor because it just lets me have all these windows and it really just helps my workflow, to be honest, and it makes things much more comfortable and easy. I can just glance over, everything's big, I can see everything nice and clear, the colours on it are nice, and it just works out really well for me. I also wanted to show you this because it's just something that I use every day for work, for play, and it's just nice to have it around, really very useful. This is the Nvidia Shield tablet, and if you remember, I think it was at the start of the year, I actually did a video on the original Nvidia Shield, which was the controller thing with the screen on top that you could flip up and you could play Android games on it. You could also stream games from your PC to the device if you wanted to. The problem with that device was that it was just so cumbersome, like you couldn't really carry it around with you like in your bag or anything like that. So Nvidia have basically gone, you know what, let's put all that technology into a tablet and just have the controller separately. Like it sort of makes perfect sense. So the tablet has the latest Tegra processor in, so it's really fast, and I mainly use it for watching movies, for example. So I've done a load of traveling this year. I've been to the US like 7 times. I've been to Paris 4 or 5 times with Ubisoft, different places in Europe, Florida. I've done a lot of traveling. Traveling is boring, but it doesn't matter because I can play Half-Life 2 natively on this device, or I can watch MKVs or MP4s, 1080p movies that look amazing on the screen. The resolution's 1920 by 1200, I think, so you get a little bit extra height than like a 1080p display. But it's just really cool, and they've also got this thing called the Grid as well, the Nvidia Grid, where you can stream AAA PC games for free, just off a Wi-Fi network. So here, for example, I'm just playing Arkham Origins on a tablet, which is kind of weird. like there's no lag or anything. It looks great, ultra graphics, and it's just being streamed from a server to my tablet. You've got games like Borderlands on there, Alan Wake, loads of new stuff, all the Android games. It's also got front-facing speakers as well. Like the problem with a lot of tablets is that the speakers are really small and on the back side, but this actually has them on the front and they're quite loud, so you can actually, if you're at home or somewhere private and you don't want to wear headphones, you can just put this down and the speakers are loud enough and good enough quality that it's not going to bother you. Like I said, great for watching movies as well. I've actually got a 64 gig mini SD card plugged into the side of the tablet, and on that I've got my completely legally sourced movies, and I use an app called MX Player to play them, because that actually lets you play like MKVs and MP4 files, stuff that tablets can't normally play, or it can't decode the audio, but using that program you can, and I can just get those on my tablet now. So again, if I'm traveling, just stick some of the latest movies on. They look great, awesome. Last thing I want to show you guys is the Zoom H2N microphone. Now, I don't use this microphone for gaming really. I only ever use this to record commentaries because the quality of it is just fantastic. It's a portable mic that you can actually use as a USB mic as well, but I use it for interviews, stuff like that. Say for example, I've scripted a commentary. I'll go and take this into a really quiet room in the house and record it, and the sound is just brilliant on it. It's powered by batteries, SD card, so you can just take it around a show, interview a load of people if you want, and it works out fantastic. Absolutely brilliant. And that's about it, guys. I know this video is quite long, but I wanted to cover everything and try and explain everything as much as possible, because I'm sure there'll be loads of questions. And if you have any questions about any of this stuff, please ask in the comments down below, and I'm sure I'll do my best to respond to them, or the people reading the comments will definitely chime in anyway, because technology and setups always spark up a little bit of a conversation in the comments, which is good. It's good to have conversation, good to have a little debate. Anyways, thanks ever so much for watching, guys. I really appreciate your support as always. Give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one.